Hello guys, this is Life Saeed and today we're gonna be ranking the Gen Z nostalgia tier list. So Gen Z nostalgia is something that we all experienced since we were little kids and that stuff. I'm also a Gen Z myself and I do also experience all this stuff that us Gen Z has experienced as kids and that stuff. Whether that's in the 2000s or in the 2010s. So yeah, sit back down and enjoy the video. I'm probably get some snacks and popcorn and that stuff because this video is gonna be a long one. So yeah, let's just get straight to the tier list. Up first, we got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, I did play a variety of Call of Duty Modern Warfares that were released in the 2010s and the 2020s, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and 3, but those were released in 2019, 2022, and 2023. I didn't play the OG ones because I was like a little kid and that stuff. So yeah, with that being said, I did not experience it because of that. Nintendo DS. I remember my brother was playing this when I was young, when I was like a 3-year-old or something, and I haven't played video games until I was 4 or 5. So yeah, I did not experience Nintendo DS at that time. So with that being said, haven't experienced. Now I don't know what this this is. Is this LeBron James or something? Okay, I'm not really sure. I might have to put it on never heard of. Angry Birds. Now, Angry Birds is one of the most nostalgic games I ever played throughout my lifetime. I've been playing this shit since 2009, and I gotta say it was one of the best fucking app games I ever played. I even had full of plushes of Angry Birds when I was around 7 or 8. And then I also had my second grade teachers back in my elementary school wearing Angry Birds shirts because of me. I don't know why, but I'm assuming it's because of me and that stuff, but I'm putting this in S tier straight up because I've experienced this in a positive way. And I think it's it's still one of the best app games I ever played up until this time. Back again, Battle Brawlers. So this was the show that I watched when I was a little kid and that stuff, and I don't know all the episodes and that stuff, but I did watch a few episodes, and the few episodes that I watched were hella epic, so I'm putting that in A tier. I just don't know much about the show very well, but I just think it was cool at the time. Now up next is Hot Wheels. I've experienced this shit big time when I was 5 and that stuff, or 4 or 6. So yeah, and I used to play that shit all the time, especially back in elementary school and back when my mom was cooking and that stuff, and I was playing Hot Wheels in the kitchen and that stuff in the kitchen floor. So yeah, with that being said, it's S tier. Up next we got Ben 10. Now Ben 10 is an automatic S tier. It was one of the best shows that I ever watched on Cartoon Network around the times I was 5 to 10 years old. I used to watch this shit a lot. I mean, I even watched every episode. I mean, it's crazy that a kid can basically transform into 10 different creatures and that stuff, which is epic. So yeah, it's S tier for that reason. I don't know what the next one is, so I'm gonna probably put it never heard of it. Okay, up next is Foursquare. Foursquare is something that I've dealt with when I was younger, when I was in elementary school and that stuff, and I would used to play this with my friends at recess. So yeah, I mean, that being said, it's S tier. And then Cars. I mean, well, Cars is a good movie and that stuff. I gotta say, it's not the best of the best I've seen. So with that being said, it's A tier. Club Penguin, I haven't experienced it, so I'm putting it in haven't experienced it. Okay, now we're gonna talk about Crazy Frog. So Crazy Frog is basically one of those animated songs that was created in the early 2000s, and it was basically was big at the time and that stuff. And I gotta say, it's the Gen Z version of Skibidi Toilets. So with that being said, it's D tier. Nerf War Guns. So I basically used to play this a lot with my brothers and that stuff when I was young. So I'm putting this shit in S tier. Eggo Waffles, I'm putting in S tier. No questions asked. I don't know what this shit is, so I'm putting in never heard of it. Five Nights at Freddy's. So I basically played this shit when I was like around like back in 2015 or back in 2014, and I gotta say the jump scares were really giving me some scary experience. But like I've gotten used to this jump scares like over the years and that stuff. So with that being said, it's A tier. Now Fred again, it's like the Gen Z version of Skibidi Toilet, so I'm putting it in D tier. The Gemma Style Guy, I gotta say it's S tier. One of the best songs I ever heard of back in the early 2010s. Now the Gummy Bear song is basically like it's basically equivalent to like the songs that is played. It's like the Gen Z version of the songs that like is played now then for Gen Alpha, so I'm putting that D tier. Halo, never experienced it, but I've heard of it, so I'm putting in haven't experienced it. Happy Wheels, I used to play that when I was like 10 and that stuff, or 9. And I gotta say, like, it was difficult as fuck at first, but I've gotten easier as soon as I like started playing more levels and that stuff. So with that being said, I put in S tier. Ice Age, I'm putting it at B tier. I mean, it's not the best movie I've ever seen. It's not the best animated movie I've ever seen, but like, it's alright. It's decent. Toboxkis, I'm putting that shit in S tier. He made one of the best songs I ever listened to. Like, do you guys remember like the Minecraft songs that he made and like the type of songs that he made back in the early 2010s and that stuff? Yeah, those songs were goated. Johnny Test, I'm putting in A tier. I mean, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen, but like as soon as I got older, it's just like I just realized it's just boring as shit, so I just basically stopped watching Johnny Test. Katie Mac and Cheese is C tier. It's mid. It's decent. It's not really good. It's just like it's kind of like leaning towards like disgusting and that stuff when it comes to food and that stuff. Lazy Town, I'm putting in A tier. I've used to watch this shit when I was 5 or 4. Now Lunchmate, I don't know what this is, so I'm putting it in never heard of it. Minecraft. Now let's talk about the Minecraft. Minecraft is one of the fucking games that I play now and then, so to this day. And it's basically one of the games that like most of my friends have played since they were young and stuff. And like I remember watching like Minecraft songs and that stuff, and I used to remember watching Scampy Longhead and like God Does Minecraft and like the Monster School series of Minecraft, and then all the other types of Minecraft YouTubers and that stuff. Also like Dante Meter and that stuff. Shout out to that dude. So with that being said, but also it's gotten boring as I gotten older, but I still like play just in case if I'm bored or something. But like I'm still putting in S tier. I think it's goated. Mario Kart, I'm putting in A tier. I only experienced it once when I was in elementary school, but like not in elementary school, but like I only experienced it once during my life, and I gotta say it's goated. My Little Pony, I'm putting that in D tier. Newgrounds, I am putting this shit in S tier. I mean, I played a lot of Flash games since I was 5 up to now to this day, and I gotta say, one of the best games that I ever played in the Newgrounds history was like I played Henry Stickmin game series and that stuff, and also I played the Impossible Quiz and like Super Mario Brothers crossover, and also like influencers that were like part of Newgrounds, like Ed Burl, Harry Partridge, and like ASDF movies. But I'm still putting this shit on S tier because like it really brings in all the nostalgic memories I ever had. Ninja Go, I'm putting this shit in A tier. I watched a few episodes of it, but I just think it's like really lit and stuff. So, but it's still like one of the best shows I've ever seen, but it's just not like top to the S tier. Up next is Neon Cat. Now I'm putting Neon Cat at S tier. No questions asked. But like, okay, I mean, if you guys want the answer, it's because of the fucking art in the background. It's the reason why I'm putting this shit in S tier. I mean, like, the music really just like gives me goosebumps and that stuff. It just really triggers my memory and that stuff, my nostalgia. Now, Annoying Orange. Okay, again, Annoying Orange is like the Gen Z version of Skibidi Toilet, but like it's not as bad as like Fred and Crazy Frog and like Gummy Bear and that stuff. So I'm putting this shit in C tier. Pedo Bear. I mean, I'm putting this in D tier. I just think it's like cringe in my opinion. I think it's boring as fuck. It's just a animated bear. I mean, like, it's just nothing special. PewDiePie, I'm putting this in A tier. I used to watch a couple of his Minecraft videos. Now, Pokemon Nintendo DS. I haven't experienced this, so I'm putting it in haven't experienced it. Papa Truckuka. Now, Papa Truckuka is basically one of the fucking games that I used to play as a kid up to this day and that stuff. So I basically like have been playing this shit since I was 6. I've been like playing this shit because of my brothers were playing it and that stuff, and I gotta say like all the levels I've been like most of the levels I've been playing were like very interesting. It just like triggers on my memory every time I think about Papa Truckuka. Sure, like clicking the screen to like make the character like moving and stuff or make the movement of the character is just annoying, but like it's just like come on now, it's Papa Truckuka. I mean, we all experience this shit, so I'm putting this shit in S tier, no questions asked. Pizza Pop, I'm putting this shit in never heard of it. I never heard of it. Planet vs Zombies, I'm putting this in A tier. Friday from Rebecca Black, so I'm putting this shit in D tier. One of the cringiest songs I ever heard of since I was a kid. Red vs Blue, I haven't experienced it, so Red vs Blue, I never heard of it, so I'm putting it never heard of it. I don't know who this is, but I think it was I'm assuming it's one of the YouTubers I used to watch, so I might put this in A tier. YouTube style, I'm putting this shit in S tier. Shrek is definitely going in S tier. I used to watch a lot of the movies by Shrek that are like from Shrek and stuff, so that is the biggest reason why I'm putting this in the fucking S tier.
Up next, we got Silly Bands, and this is gonna go into B tier. I mean, I did experience this a little bit around like kindergarten and that stuff, and like first or second and third grade and that stuff, but like they basically fell off after around like 2013 in my opinion. Up next, we got Slenderman. Now, Slenderman is like this internet meme that was created back in 2009. And yeah, ever since I was like on a kid or something. And I gotta say, it gives me the creeps every time when I look at it at 3 a.m. But I think it's like still cool. So with that being said, I'm putting it in A tier. Up next, we got Smosh. Now, Smosh is one of the YouTube videos that I definitely watched back in the day. I don't watch it anymore because I've grown out of it, but like I gotta say their videos are way better than Fred Filkhorn's videos and Annoying Orange's videos combined. So I gotta put it in S tier for that reason. SpongeBob, I'm putting this in the obvious S tier. Really brought up my childhood throughout this day and that stuff. I've watched like most of the episodes and that stuff, like from season 1 to season 5 and that stuff. And then like they did release this SpongeBob movie back in 2004, and I gotta say it's a goated kids movie and that stuff. So it's gonna go in S tier.
Sticky hand toys are gonna go in S tier. They're one of my more favorite toys that I ever had. It kind of does tempt on my ADHD and that stuff back when I was in elementary school, when I would be like going crazy and that stuff. The Looney Tunes, that would go in the B tier. Up is definitely going in S tier for various reasons. A, it's the best Pixar movie I've ever seen, and B, it's just animated and like and the story's just plotted very well and that stuff. Up next is Warheads candy. So basically, I used to eat this shit a lot when I was in elementary school and that stuff, and I would say it's one of the most sour candies that I've ever had throughout my existence of time here. It's just like really like sucks up my mouth and that stuff every time I put it in my mouth. As soon as I put the Warheads in my mouth, I tend to get this scrunched up look of discomfort in my face, and like due with the high amount of citric acid is in the candy, so that's why I tend to like get like a face of discomfort and that stuff, and like my tongue would dehydrate real quick. So that's why I'm putting this shit in C tier, because of that.
Up next, we got the Watch Me Whip Dance. So I'm just gonna put this in B tier. I'm gonna put this in C tier instead. And up next, we got the Wiggles. You guys might be hating me on this one, but the Wiggles is the worst show. I'm putting this in D tier. But the reason why I'm putting it on D tier is just because it's boring and like it can like be annoying and that stuff with their songs. So that's why I'm putting it in D tier. Now, up next we got Wii Sports. Wii Sports, I'm putting this in S tier. This shit really brings me back into so many memories. I used to play this shit a lot when I was a kid. So is the Wii. I'm putting this in S tier as well. I've been playing a lot of like Nintendo games, and I've been introduced to Nintendo because of Wii and that stuff. Up next we got Windows 7. Now this is going to definite S tier for various reasons. A, it really brings up my nostalgia from my childhood, and B, it's one of the best software updates that has been ever around since I was a kid and that stuff.
Shout out to all of the Microsoft software engineers at the time for creating this son of a god operating systems at the time in 2009.
Like, I kind of feel like Windows 7 is just like one of those most memorable things that I ever like had. Like, I used to like be playing on the computer all day, like playing Flash games and that stuff because of the Windows 7 and that stuff on the biggest computer that my mom bought when I was like 5 years old. So yeah, that's gonna go in the S tier for that reason. Xbox 360, I haven't experienced it, so I'm gonna put it on haven't experienced it. The Martian Gang, I'm gonna put it in haven't experienced it, but I've heard about it like a few years ago and that stuff from Ray William Johnson. And I gotta say, their songs are like very great, to be honest. Not to lie. I don't know what this Milkman is, so I'm gonna put it never heard of it. And then finally, we got Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I've heard about the show, but I never watched it, so I'm just gonna like put it in haven't experienced it. So that is all of my Gen Z nostalgia tier list. And like, I hope you guys like this video and subscribe. That's all for this video, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.